Okay, we won't have a whole lot to go through today. So, name an arachnid.
Scorpion.
Okay, what order is it? The class is arachnid, but what's the order? It's close to what you just said. The order for scorpions, because they're in the class arachnids, but what order are scorpions in?
Is it just scorpion, but with a little extra?
Scorpionida. Close enough. Okay. What's another class or order? Okay. What order are they? Okay. And then what characteristics do scorpions have? They do.
Barb.
Barb. What's significant about that barb?
It's a tail. It's on the tail.
Yeah, there's lots of things on tails, but this is, yes, that's where the venom's housed. Okay, then the easiest order. Okay, and then what's that called? Arachne. Yep. And then what is it that sets spiders apart from the other two? Yeah, but so do scorpions.
Oh, it takes part one.
Well, that's true. That sets them apart. And then what about feeding? Who's venomous? Who's venomous? Spiders are venomous, yes. Scorpions are. So then that means their food gathering is what type? Well, what they're digesting are other animals. That's what we mean by that. So what type of diet is that? Yeah, carnivorous. So then how are the ticks and mites separate from the other two? Is a better term for that. You're not wrong.
Parasitic.
They're parasitic. So one of the things you could say, you can tell people to bivalve up. You're just using your intelligence because knowledge is power, right? According to the Ben Carson story. So you look at Allie comes home, just say, would you bivalve up? You're going to sound so smart saying something so precise that she's not going to know what you're talking about. You do. Would you tell her to bivalve up? Oh, okay. Who can we pick on? I don't know. I just decided to pick on you because I like the sweat. I like the Chevy bow tie because that's what I drive. It's a Chevy. That's why I picked on you, by the way. So who can we pick on then besides? Who would you tell to bivalve up? Who would you tell to bivalve up? Oh, okay. So again, that's just a way of sounding clever or smart, or you could say, quit being a tick. That's not what we mean by ticking people off. Yeah, maybe so, but if you call someone a mite or a tick, then call them a parasite. See, it's a kind way of saying parasite. But maybe I wouldn't recommend saying that. But again, we could say knowledge is power. Okay, so we're going to move on briefly to the next class of arthropods, which include crayfish, king lobsters, king crabs. Those are all in a class known as what, do you think? Those are crustaceans. Okay? So under the sea, air. Yes, thank you. I could think of the characters, but not the movie. Okay? Kind of under the sea. So Sebastian was what?
Lobster.
Was it a lobster or a crab? It was a crustacean.
It's a crab.
Was it a crab? I'm not sure.
It was definitely a crab.
Because you obviously know more. I'm not being sarcastic. I know you know more about it than I do.
Yeah.
Was it a crab?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, it was a crab. Okay, so we move on. The author calls it a subphylum. We just want to know them as crustaceans. Okay, like we said, crabs, lobsters, crayfish. Okay, there is something that they do have in common with that of insects, oddly enough. It would be this, for one. And maybe a little bit of that and a little bit of that, because we know that insects have those structures too. Sorry? Well, yeah, all of these are going to have exoskeleton, but what we mean with the insects is their body segments, and then crickets, grasshoppers. You might not notice you have one if you're wearing shorts that's around your ankle area, but you certainly will know fairly quickly if they bite you, because that really pinches your skin, and what that's doing is cramping down, or clinching, cramping, whichever one you want to call that, on your skin, and that's done by those structures. So they're not lung-breathing structures or organisms. Why is that? At least I hope not. Yeah, they're aquatic animals. So they're going to be, of course, like you just pointed out, underwater. Okay, so I want to do this one, and then I think that would probably be enough. Then we're going to do a little bit of a review for our semester exam, then that will be it for today. So we see 3 body segments, okay, because this is what they would have in common with that of the insects, who also have 3 body segments. This is totally different than the arachnids, because they either have 2 or 1 body segment. Segments, I should say. And then we'll actually stop with that. We'll continue with the appendages upon your return. Okay, so, this is perfect. So we started in the front last time. Now we'll start in the back. Name a phylum we've discussed so far. Close, that's a class. Okay, that's also a class. We need to go up. You're going down. We need to go up. Arthropods is a phylum. What's the next one? Cnidaria is a phylum. Mollusk is a phylum. Then, which are who? Sponges. Okay. See, we're on the bus here. So we talked about the poriferans. Okay. So again, do not get that wrong, because to me that should be an automatic failing grade. Animalia is the kingdom. That's right. If you put animals here, you're not wrong. Okay, so we had done these. We left off with the poriferans. So now, okay, we need, oh gosh, I didn't quite do that right. What do you, if we're really on the bus, what do you suppose I'm going to put here? Yeah, yes, the 3 classes go down here, but the phylum actually goes here. Okay, I hope I caught that before you got too far on your drawing of your tree. And some of your individuals' writing is so precise, so small, and so neat. I might have goofed. To me, you're doing it right when you do it that way. I said, turn your page sideways. You might have been able to do it the other way. So, my mistake, your fault, if that's the case. Right? Yeah. I'm glad you agree. All right. So, very good. So, Cnidarians. Okay, so someone give me a class of Cnidaria. Okay, we're going to put hydrozoans here. What's another class? And then Anthozoa. Okay. So someone give me an example of why an animal, how about you give me an animal first? There's two that you could give. They resemble them, but they have to go through a specific process first. In other words, don't look at this animal. You turn to stone. Yes, a Medusa. Okay? Gosh, two S's or just one? It is just one. See, I was going to put two there. I'm glad I asked. Okay. So that's an animal. So what are some characteristics of hydrozoans? Can be, okay? Yes, okay? So one of the things that we could say is, what was the first one you said before metamorphosis? You said free swimming, okay? So what I think we could do is, what is it that places an animal in the phylum Cnidaria? No. But that would be for any one of these. They're all invertebrates. That's that's one of the things we're going to say, yes, you're not wrong, but it's not one of the things that we had talked about. They got tentacles, okay? They've got tentacles. So with the presumption that they've got tentacles, they must also have what? Barb. I'm going to call you Barb.
My grandma's named Barb.
Oh, okay. No, not barbules. What was significant about the barb? Right. Do you suppose that's in these? It is. So yes, they are venomous. Now, this gets repeated throughout the class, or excuse me, the phylum. So there's got to be something that separates this from the other two, and it's something that you didn't make specific reference. You said metamorphosis. You're not wrong, but there's a better term that we talked about. Starts with a D. Say that again. Yes, these animals go through dimorphism, which means they begin as a solitary sessile polyp known as a hydra. That's why it gets the class name Hydrozoa. It goes through dimorphism, becomes free swimming. That turns into Medusa, but it also has tentacles and is venomous. Okay, so then what can we say about these animals? How about you give me the animal first? For a scyphozoan. Jellyfish. Okay, so then what are some characteristics of these animals? Yes, they're free swimming. Free swimming. Okay, they've also got tentacles, and they are also venomous. Okay, so even though these two are repeated, these go through dimorphism. These don't because they're already free swimming. Okay, and yes, this is a free swimming animal, but it's gone through that process of dimorphism where this animal has not. All right, so we might get to be a little more specific as we proceed forward with what type of animal. Jellyfish is a pretty vague term, whether we say box jellyfish, irukandji, something like that. That's for another time and another place. Okay, finally, the anthozoans. Oh, I'm going to pick on you again because you know your Disney movies, right? So, because I think you're the best at saying this. What animal would we put there for an anthozoan? Oh, your lab partner here is staring at you. Oh, my. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I picture you're going to say, was Nemo trying to say, anemone. Yes. Sea anemone. Okay, so what are some characteristics of the class Anthozoa of the phylum Cnidaria? They are sessile. So that is something that will set them apart from the other two. What's another characteristic?
I have a question. Tentacles.
What's your question?
Do one of them start out as sessile and then? Okay. That's my bad.
Very good. We didn't write it down. We talked about it, but we just didn't write it down. So you're thinking. Your hamster's running too. It's pretty slow. Okay. So then, what was it that you had said? Yes, they got tentacles. And then, yes, they are venomous. Okay. The goal was under 20 minutes. We're about 17 and a half right now. So I think that's a good place to stop. So hopefully ladies move like a free swimming Medusa or jellyfish. See, that was so fun. Now I'll go back this way. I'm afraid they're going to watch this on the way back and not see it before they go. But, you know, and it's not that their priorities aren't where they're supposed to be. They are. And again, just hope for the best. That's all we can ask. So we'll catch up to you next time.